Africa's sun rises first over the east. There, where the golden rays touch the mountains, the wilderness stirs and the ocean sings. East Africa, a kingdom of contrasts, where the savannah and the sea embrace, where culture, wildlife, and heritage merge into one unforgettable journey. This is the East Africa resort, safari, sea and soul of the savannah. Kenya, the crown of the savannah. There's a rhythm that awakens before the world stirs, a symphony of wind, grass, and life. In the heart of East Africa, where the golden plains kiss the endless sky, lies Kenya, a land that captures the very soul of the wild. From the golden plains of the Masai Mara to the turquoise shimmer of Diani Beach, Kenya is where Africa begins to breathe. From the moment the sun rises over the Masai Mara, it paints a portrait of movement and majesty. Wildebeests by the millions surge across the plains in what the world calls the Great Migration, nature's grandest theater. Every breath here carries a story, every sound, a memory in motion. This is not just a safari destination. Kenya is where the heartbeat of the earth can be heard beneath your feet. At dawn, the savannah glows with life. Giraffes stroll across the horizon like brushstrokes on gold. Elephants tread ancient paths, their slow grace echoing wisdom older than humanity itself. And somewhere in the distance, a lion roars, announcing both territory and legacy. From the rolling grasslands of Amboseli, where the snow-capped peak of Mount Kilimanjaro towers beyond the border, to the mystical Samburu in the north, where desert and life coexist, Kenya is a land of contrasts, of wilderness and wonder. At the heart of this living wilderness stands Olare Mara Kempinski, a sanctuary of canvas and comfort nestled in the Olare Motorogi Conservancy. Here, lions roam close, and the sky itself feels near enough to touch. Nearby, Mahalim Zuri, Sir Richard Branson's award-winning camp, unfolds across the hills like a secret whispered by the earth, each tented suite overlooking the Great Migration's eternal theater. Further north, where red dust meets quiet skies, lies Saruni Samburu, perched on rugged rocks in Kalama Conservancy, offering panoramic views of the Samburu wilderness, an untouched world where elephants rule the horizon. But Kenya is more than its landscapes. It's the spirit of its people, proud, resilient, and warm. Meet the Maasai, adorned in crimson and tradition, guardians of a heritage that refuses to fade. Their chants rise with the wind, their dances mirror the pulse of the land, and their smiles tell stories of survival and grace. Then travel eastward to where the air turns salty, to Kenya's coast, where history and paradise intertwine. In Lamu, time slows. Narrow alleys echo with centuries-old Swahili whispers. Wooden doors are carved with poetry, and the sea carries stories of trade, love, and faith. The Majlis Resort rests like poetry upon the sea. Further south, Diani Beach stretches like a dream. White sands, turquoise waters, and palms that dance to the rhythm of the Indian Ocean. Luxury blends effortlessly with authenticity here. Resorts like the Sands at Nomad or Almanara Villas offer barefoot elegance where sunrise yoga meets African serenity. And when hunger calls, Kenya feeds both the stomach and the soul. Try nyama choma, grilled to perfection over open flame, shared among laughter and music. Sip Kenyan coffee, bold, rich, and proud, just like the land it comes from. Or indulge in Swahili cuisine infused with coconut, cardamom, and centuries of spice roots. By night, the savannah transforms. Stars spill across the heavens, unspoiled and infinite. You sit by the campfire, the air cool, the stories warm, and you realize something profound. you're not just visiting Kenya, Kenya is visiting you. Because in this land, the earth isn't just scenery, it's alive, it breathes, it listens, it welcomes. And as the morning light returns to the plains of the Mara, you understand why so many who come here never truly leave. They take a piece of Kenya with them, in their hearts, in their stories, and in the rhythm of their dreams. Culture and cuisine. Taste the heart of Kenya in a plate of nyama choma, grilled meat flavored with fire and friendship. Sip a cup of fresh Kenyan coffee as the morning fog lifts over the hills, and in the evening, dance to the rhythms of the Swahili drums along the coast. Travel essentials. Kenya is a year-round gem, though July to October marks the Great Migration. Bring sunblock, your camera, and an open heart. Because Kenya doesn't just host you, it adopts you. Kenya doesn't just show you Africa, it introduces you to its pulse. Tanzania, the heartbeat of the wild. In Tanzania, the earth itself tells stories, from the ancient plains of the Serengeti, where life moves in timeless cycles, to the turquoise calm of Zanzibar, where trade winds carry centuries of secrets. When the sun rises over the endless horizon of East Africa, its light lingers longest over one land, a place where wilderness is not an escape, but a way of being. This is Tanzania, a country so vast, so untamed, that even time seems to pause in reverence. It begins with a whisper of wind over the Serengeti. A sea of golden grass sways as if moved by unseen hands. Here, nature performs its eternal ballet. Lions stalking, gazelles leaping, and elephants carving their paths through dust and dawn. The Great Migration, that timeless dance of survival, passes through the plains, millions of wildebeest and zebras following an ancient instinct written into the DNA of the earth itself. Every footstep in the Serengeti echoes the story of creation. It's no wonder that when people speak of safaris, they speak first of Tanzania because this is where the wild still reigns unchallenged. Here, the sun rises over the Ngorongoro crater, a vast bowl of green where predators and prey share the same breath. At the Four Seasons Safari Lodge Serengeti, you wake to elephants at the waterhole, the silhouettes painted by morning light. At Serengeti Bush Tops Camp, luxury glows beneath canvas, champagne by firelight, wilderness all around. Beyond the savannahs, the sky begins to climb. Rising above the clouds is Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak, and perhaps our most poetic. Snow crowns its summit even as the world below burns with sunlight. To stand before Kilimanjaro is to stand before something greater than beauty. It's to feel the humility of being human. But Tanzania's soul doesn't end in its mountains or plains. To the east, the land gives way to the ocean, and the air turns fragrant with spice and sea. This is Zanzibar, the island of dreams, of rhythm, and of history. Once hub of trade and empire, today it remains a crossroads of cultures, African, Arab, Indian, and Persian, all blending into a melody of life. Stroll through the stone town, where narrow alleys twist between coral stone buildings, and the scent of clove and cardamom lingers in the air. Listen to the call to prayer rise above the rooftops, as dhows drift lazily across the turquoise sea. And when the day ends, the beaches of Zanzibar stretch before you, white, soft, and infinite. Here, luxury is natural. At the residence Zanzibar, ocean waves become lullabies and sunsets stretch like painted silk. At Zuri Zanzibar, sustainability meets sophistication. Each villa a quiet sanctuary amid palms and sea breeze. And if the spirit of adventure still calls, head to Pemba or Mafia Island, where coral reefs bloom beneath crystal waters and dolphins glide like spirits through the deep. And when the call of the ocean beckons, Zanzibar answers. The island's spice-scented air carries stories of sailors and sultans. On its western coast, the residence Zanzibar spreads across a mile of private beach, villas with infinity pools, gardens with quiet whispers. Further north, Gold Zanzibar Beach House, Esk Zalu Zanzibar, and Baraza Resort and Spa blend Arabian opulence with island soul. Tanzania is not just for explorers, it's for those who want to remember what it means to feel alive. It's for travelers who long to be small beneath big skies, for dreamers who believe that the earth is still sacred. And yet, among all its wilderness and wonder, Tanzania also feeds the heart. Here, food is celebration. Taste the warmth of coconut rice, the sweetness of fresh mango, the comfort of ugali shared among friends. Listen to Tarab music drift from the coast, its melodies born of both joy and sorrow, weaving centuries of Swahili poetry into every note. Further south, in Ruaha National Park, Jabali Ridge rises among ancient baobabs, remote, raw, and utterly majestic. As night falls over the Serengeti, the world glows in amber light. Campfires flicker, the stars arrive one by one, vast, patient, eternal. In this silence, a single truth settles in. You are standing in one of the last truly wild places on earth. Because Tanzania doesn't just show you nature, it restores your place within it. It reminds you that adventure isn't just about where you go, but what you rediscover about yourself. And when you leave, you carry more than photographs. You carry the echo of lions across the plain, the stillness of Kilimanjaro at dawn, and the laughter of children chasing the tide in Zanzibar's fading light. This is Tanzania, the heartbeat of the wild, the soul of East Africa, the land where the world still whispers its oldest stories and waits for you to listen. Culture and cuisine. The Spice Islands offer flavors that dance on your tongue. Coconut, cinnamon, and cloves. A heritage that tells the story of trade and unity. Listen to the Taarab music. Feel its lyrical poetry and lose yourself in the soft language of the Swahili coast. Travel essentials, best visited between June and October. For dry seasons, bring light, clothing, swimwear, and adventure in your soul. From Dar es Salaam or Zanzibar, airport, every route leads to paradise. Tanzania is nature's masterpiece, and her resorts are the frames that honor it. Wherever you rest your head here, you rest in the rhythm of the earth itself. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. They call it the Pearl of Africa, a name whispered by Winston Churchill more than a century ago. And when you see Uganda's green hills roll beneath a dawn mist, you understand why. And yet, even today, Uganda remains one of the continent's most unexpected treasures, a place where life itself feels newly born each morning. Here, the air is lush, heavy with the scent of rain and earth. Mist rolls over emerald hills, wrapping the land in mystery and magic. And beneath the canopy of ancient forests, some of the planet's most extraordinary creatures still roam free. This is Uganda, the heart of Africa's hidden paradise. The journey begins in Bwindi impenetrable forest, a place that defies its name with beauty beyond comprehension. Here, the mountain gorillas live as they have for millennia, powerful, gentle, and hauntingly human. To look into their eyes is to glimpse something primal, something sacred, as if nature herself is reminding you that we were never meant to forget our kinship with the wild. In Bwindi impenetrable forest, where gorillas move like shadows through emerald canopies, stands Sanctuary Gorilla Forest Camp, a haven where luxury meets conservation. Each morning, you rise to the hum of the forest, alive, ancient, unforgettable. Guides lead you along narrow paths where sunlight filters through thick leaves, where every sound, a rustle, a chirp, a breath, tells you that life surrounds you completely. It's not a safari of distance, but of connection. You don't just watch, you belong. From the forests, the road winds toward the heart of the nation, to Queen Elizabeth National Park, where rolling savanna meets volcanic lakes. Here, tree-climbing lions nap in ancient fig trees, and herds of buffalo graze by the shimmering waters of Lake Edward. Cruise along the Kazinga Channel and the world unfolds in pure harmony. Hippos wallow, elephants drink, and countless birds turn the skies into motion and color. And then there's Murchison Falls, where the mighty Nile, the world's longest river, squeezes itself through a narrow gorge, exploding into mist and thunder. Stand there long enough and you'll feel it. The pulse of the continent, the roar of its timeless power. To the north, in Murchison Falls National Park, Para Safari Lodge and Pakuba Safari Lodge overlook the Nile, where thunderous waters carve their power through stone. In Kidepo Valley, far from the crowd, Apoka Safari Lodge rises from the rocks, remote, rugged, and hauntingly beautiful. On the shores of Lake Victoria, Lemala Wildwaters Lodge sits on a private island, suspended between waterfalls, a place where luxury floats on the pulse of the Nile. But Uganda's beauty doesn't end in its wild spaces. It lives in its people, in the smiles that greet you with warmth, in the laughter that fills every market, in the songs that rise with the evening air. The Baganda, Banyankole, Acholi, and countless others each bring their own rhythm, their own color to this vibrant mosaic. Together, they form a nation that celebrates life with quiet dignity and unshakable hope. When hunger calls, Uganda answers with comfort and flavor. Try luvombo, a hearty stew of chicken, beef, or ground nuts, slow cooked in banana leaves until tender and fragrant. Pair it with matoke, a plantain dish so beloved, it's practically a national symbol. Meals here aren't just eaten, they're shared. Stories, laughter, and music flowing as freely as the Nile itself. Uganda's magic isn't loud. It whispers through nature's rhythm, through laughter shared under banana trees, and through every bite of matoke, Rolex, and tilapia caught fresh that morning. For those seeking rest and reflection, Uganda's resorts and lodges are sanctuaries of serenity. Stay at Chobe Safari Lodge, overlooking the Nile's swirling currents, or at Apoka Safari Lodge in Kidepo Valley, where isolation becomes a luxury and silence feels sacred. Wake to the call of distant birds, the scent of rain, the sight of morning light dancing across untouched plains. Every journey through Uganda is a rediscovery of balance between nature and humanity, adventure and peace, earth and soul. Here, time stretches, hearts open, and even the restless find stillness. As the sun dips behind the Rwenzori Mountains, the fabled mountains of the moon, the sky turns violet and gold. Children laugh in the distance, drums echo softly through the hills, and fireflies rise from the grass like living stars. And in that moment, you understand why they call it the Pearl of Africa, because pearls aren't found easily. They are hidden, rare, and precious, formed through time, resilience, and grace. Uganda is just that, a place of quiet wonder, a reminder that the most beautiful parts of our world are often the ones that remain untouched. Culture and cuisine. Try luvombo, a traditional stew steamed in banana leaves, a flavor that tastes like family, heritage, and home. Uganda's music, with its drums and flutes, tells tales of unity and joy. Travel essentials. Visit from December to February or June to September. Bring sturdy shoes, especially for mountain treks or gorilla trekking. Here, you don't just see Africa. You feel her heartbeat, one drum at a time. The land of 1,000 hills. Rwanda, small in size, infinite in spirit. They call it the land of 1,000 hills, but Rwanda is more than hills. It is a tapestry woven from resilience, rebirth, and breathtaking beauty. From the moment you arrive, the air feels different, crisp, pure, and scented with promise. The landscapes roll endlessly, waves of green hills that seem to touch the heavens. And between them, life unfolds with quiet elegance. From misty forests to mirror-like lakes, from bustling cities to tranquil villages. This is Rwanda, a land reborn from the ashes of its past, standing today as one of Africa's most peaceful and pristine nations. In the mist-covered north, near Volcanoes National Park, stands Bisate Lodge, an eco-luxury retreat sculpted like giant bird nests among the trees. Each villa looks out to the volcanoes where gorillas live and legends breathe. As dawn breaks over the Volcanoes National Park, the world stirs in whispers. Gorillas move through the mist, silent, graceful, powerful. In their presence, you sense a kind of peace that words can't describe. To meet their gaze is to feel time stop, a connection beyond species, beyond history, beyond fear. It is humbling, it is healing, it is unforgettable. Here, conservation is not just a duty, it is a promise kept. Every traveler who visits contributes to the protection of these magnificent creatures, ensuring that Rwanda's story of renewal extends to its wildlife too. Beyond the forests, Lake Kivu stretches wide and serene, its waters shimmering under the highland sun. Resorts like Lake Kivu Serena Hotel and Clio Lake Kivu Hotel offer more than comfort. They offer stillness, reflection, and the feeling of being completely alive. Watch fishermen set sail at dusk in traditional wooden boats, their songs carrying across the water, blending with the gentle rhythm of the waves. Then there is Kigali, the heart of modern Rwanda. Clean, organized, and quietly elegant, it stands as a symbol of what hope and determination can build. From its tree-lined streets to its vibrant art galleries and bustling coffee houses, Kigali pulses with creativity and pride. Yet beneath its modern skyline lies a story the world must never forget. At the Kigali Genocide Memorial, silence speaks louder than any words could. Here, remembrance is an act of unity, not of sorrow, but of strength. Rwanda teaches us that forgiveness is not weakness. It is courage in its purest form. Rwandan culture celebrates that courage daily. Through dance, music, and togetherness, the Intore dancers, clad in flowing garments and headdresses of grace, move with a power that feels both ancient and divine. Their steps tell stories of kings and warriors, of pride and perseverance, of a people forever rising. And when the music stops, Rwanda continues to sing in its flavors, in its warmth, in its simplicity. Test isombe, cassava, leaves cooked with peanut sauce, or brochettes grilled over charcoal, paired with fresh fruit and the finest Rwandan coffee, smooth, aromatic, and world-renowned. Here, meals are not rushed. They are shared, like stories passed from one heart to another. Travelers to Rwanda find not only nature but also nurture. Stay at one and only Gorilla's Nest or Bisate Lodge and Sabino Silverback Lodge luxury sanctuaries nestled within forests so alive you can hear the whisper of leaves. Here each morning begins with birdsong, each evening ends beneath a sky scattered with stars. And somewhere in between, you find yourself transformed. Because Rwanda isn't a place you simply visit. It's a place that visits you quietly, deeply, permanently. As the sun sets over the thousand hills, the horizon glows like gold dust scattered over green velvet. Children's laughter drifts across the valleys, and the world seems, for a moment, utterly perfect. Rwanda's beauty isn't loud. It doesn't compete for your attention. It invites you to listen, to breathe, to be still. And in that stillness, you understand its greatest truth. From pain can come peace, from tragedy, triumph. Rwanda, the land of a thousand hills and a million reasons to believe in hope again. Culture and cuisine, try isombe, cassava leaves and peanut stew, and a cup of Rwandan coffee, rich like the soil it sprang from. Listen to Into dances, see the color, the energy, the pride. Travel essentials, a safe, well-connected country. Visit all year round. Kigali International Airport welcomes you with warmth and order. Travel light. Rwanda teaches that peace is the best souvenir. Rwanda isn't only a destination, it's a rebirth. From the scars of the past rises a masterpiece of unity, innovation, and natural grace. In Kigali, modern art, fine cuisine, and clean streets tell a story of dignity reclaimed. And as you sip Rwandan coffee, strong and smooth, you understand that this land has turned its pain into poetry. Rwanda, not just a place, but a promise. Ethiopia, the land of origins. In Ethiopia, the earth speaks in ancient tongues. They call it the cradle of humankind, the place where history began, where faith first took form, and where the earth still hums with the rhythm of creation itself. Welcome to Ethiopia, a land older than time, where every stone, every mountain, every face tells a story that the world must listen to. Here, the air carries whispers of ancient empires. From the mighty Aksumite kingdom, once a superpower of the ancient world, to the highlands of Lalibela, where faith carved cathedrals from living rock, Ethiopia is a living museum, an open scroll written in dust, devotion, and divine resilience. At dawn, the sun stretches its golden fingers across Addis Ababa, the bustling capital that never stands still. A city of rhythm, color, and cultural fusion, where the aroma of injera and Berber spices fills the streets, and the sound of laughter mingles with the calls of street vendors and the music of jazz spilling from hidden courtyards. Addis is not merely a city. It is the heartbeat of Africa's diplomacy, the seat of the African Union, a modern hub that looks to the future while standing firmly on sacred ground. From the heart of Addis Ababa, where jazz spills into the night and coffee brews in sacred rhythm, you journey to Kuriftu Resort and Spa Bishoftu, nestled by volcanic lakes, alive with color and calm. And for city comfort and heritage luxury, Sheraton Addis and Hyatt Regency Addis offer timeless hospitality where history meets the modern African dream. But venture beyond the city limits and Ethiopia reveals her soul. Further north, the majestic Simeon Lodge sits atop the mountains of Gondar, Africa's highest eco-lodge surrounded by clouds and legends. In the Simeon Mountains, clouds kiss jagged cliffs that fall away into endless valleys. It's as if the earth itself has risen its praise, sculpted by wind, time, and prayer. Here, you walk among gelada monkeys, eagles, and ibex, creatures that have called these heights home since the dawn of life. The silence is sacred, the air, thin but pure. It feels like standing at the roof of the world. Far north, in Lalibela, faith lives and breathes in stone. 11 medieval churches, hand-carved into solid rock, stand as timeless testaments to human devotion. As priests chant softly within the dim candle-lit chambers, The air trembles with reverence. To stand here is to feel centuries collapse into a single sacred breath. In Lalibela, Maribela Hotel and Mezena Lodge cradle travelers within view of rock-hewn churches carved into eternity. Further east, the Danakil Depression blazes in surreal beauty, a place so hot, so vivid, it feels like another planet. Salt flats shimmer beneath a molten sun, and sulfur springs paint the land in wild hues of yellow and green. It is one of Earth's most extreme places, and yet, impossibly, life endures here. The Afa people call it home, proving that human spirit knows no boundaries. And then there's Lake Tana, the source of the Blue Nile, calm, majestic, eternal. Its islands hide centuries-old monasteries where monks still guard ancient manuscripts written in Ge'ez, the sacred language of a civilization that taught the world how to pray. For those seeking serenity, Ethiopia's luxury lodges like Kuriftu Resort and Spa in Bishoftu or Haile Resort, Hawassa offer tranquil retreats, surrounded by lakes, hills, and soft, timeless air. At Lake Tana, Haile Resort, Bahir Dar, and Kuriftu Bahir Dar provide gateways to the Blue Nile's birthplace, where monks, manuscripts, and mystery dwell in harmony. Wake to the cry of birds, take a dip in natural hot springs, or sail across volcanic lakes beneath the crimson sunset. Yet, Ethiopia's greatest gift isn't found in its landscapes, but in its people. Warm, proud, deeply spiritual, Ethiopians carry their history with quiet dignity. In their smiles, you see the echoes of kings. In their eyes, the courage of ancestors. Join them at the Timkat Festival, the vibrant celebration of Epiphany, where faith dances in color. White-robed pilgrims gather by the thousands, holy water flows, and the drums beat in rhythm with the soul of Africa. Taste Ethiopia's culture in every bite of injera, soft and tangy, paired with a spicy doro wat, an aromatic coffee brewed in the jabina, served with ceremony, with patience, with love. Because in Ethiopia, coffee is not just a drink, it is communion. It is where conversations bloom and strangers become family. Ethiopia isn't a journey you take, it's a revelation you experience. As the sun sinks behind the mountains of Tigray, the golden light drapes the land in warmth and memory. You realize you're not merely watching history, you're standing where history began. Ethiopia, the land of origins, the heart of time, and the soul of Africa's eternal story. Culture and cuisine, injera and doro what define Ethiopian cuisine, shared with hands, filled with hearts. Listen to the Ethio jazz of Addis Ababa, a sound that captures the spirit of Africa's endless evolution. Travel essentials. Visit between October and March for the best weather. Dress modestly. Respect cultural sites. Addis Ababa is your gateway to the ancient world. This is Ethiopia, the land that remembers where the world began.